All right, if mornings are chaos and breakfast is always the first thing that you skip, this is the video for you. It's getting the kids ready for school, it's getting yourself ready for work, rushing out the door, stopping through a drive-thru, getting some expensive, really subpar breakfast. Not even always a breakfast drink, a frappuccino thing from Starbucks, just something that's expensive and unhealthy. It just never turns out good. Today I'm making 6 overnight oats recipes that you prep once and it's there all week. You could have it for breakfast, you could have it for lunch, you could have it for a snack that will keep you full for the day. I personally eat them throughout the week. I put them in my wife's lunch bag for the week and I make all different varieties so it never gets old. They're balanced, fully customizable, and you probably have the ingredients already in your home. Let me show you how to prep a full week of breakfast or lunch in under 10 minutes.
Now you want to use old-fashioned rolled oats when doing overnight oats. I get these sprouted rolled oats from Costco. It's like $7 for this bag, and it lasts me a long time. You want to avoid steel-cut oats. They take a long time to soften. And you want to avoid instant oats because they soften way too quickly and get mushy. So for the ratio here, I'm going to use 3 cups of rolled oats and 3 cups of milk. It's equal parts oats to milk. Really doesn't matter what type of milk you use. You could use oat milk or lactate milk or 2% milk. It doesn't matter, just equal parts liquid to oats. I'm also going to add a little bit of non-fat Greek yogurt to this, about half a cup, and mix that in really well. And at this point you could add chia seeds if you like, but just keep in mind that the chia seeds are going to soak up more liquid, so you might need to add a little more liquid for the chia seeds. And just let this sit overnight. And I like to do the oats separately. So now I could just take what I want, add it to my mason jars, and add the ingredients I want for each individual recipe of overnight oats. It's also good to do it like this in case I'm adding something crunchy to the overnight oats. It's not going to sit there and get soggy. Something like granola I could add the morning of, and it'll be crunchy when I'm ready to eat. So now that the oats are softened, I could start adding them to my mason jars for each individual recipe. And this first one is probably my favorite. I'm going to grab cocoa powder and peanut butter and add that to the mason jar. It's like a nice, sweet, chocolatey, peanut buttery overnight oats here. I have some dark chocolate, about a teaspoon of that cocoa powder, and mix that into my oats. This is probably the most unhealthy overnight oats recipe I'm going to make in this video, so if you want to keep the calories and the fat down, use powdered peanut butter and add that in instead of the full fat peanut butter. It's like 90% less fat. And for crunch on top of this, I got these peanut butter poppers. You get these at Target. They're organic, so they have clean ingredients. They're really delicious, and they're super cheap. It's like $3.50 a box. I get this one and like the Honey Nut Cheerio knockoff one. It's really good. All right, next recipe for these overnight oats is a savory one. I'm going to put nutritional yeast in here. Nutritional yeast is so good. If you don't have this in your pantry, I really suggest you get it. It is a complete protein, high in B vitamins, zinc, iron, and it's high in fiber. So I sneak this stuff into all sorts of things to give my kids extra nutrients like meatloaf mix and all things like that. I'm also going to put everything bagel seasoning here. Again, I'm just missing the mason jar for some reason. And some avocado. Take your avocado and I'm just going to do a few slices. And don't worry about the avocado browning sitting in the mason jar overnight. Just make sure the lid's on tight and no oxygen going to the avocado. Obviously it's not going to oxidize. So just mix in the nutritional yeast with the everything bagel seasoning, and I'll just put the avocado slices on top of that. I forgot to do in the video, but when you're ready to eat it, just add some more of that everything bagel seasoning on top of the avocado. So next recipe, again, I'm just missing the mason jar, just making a mess everywhere. It's really starting to get annoying here. But using the everything bagel mix put me in the mood for a bagel, and I like cream cheese and jelly on my bagel, so I'm going to add some cream cheese to the overnight oats mix and some jelly. Again, don't forget to salt the oats because that big batch I made, I didn't salt it, and each recipe needs the salt. So just put in the strawberry preserves I got, mix that around, and then I'm going to put some fresh blackberries on top. Again, missing the damn mason jar. Obviously, like maybe I should use strawberries since I use strawberry preserves, but again, this is customizable and you could use whatever you want. I like the blackberries with the strawberry preserves. But I definitely need to get an everything bagel with cream cheese and jelly in the near future. Next up is a pumpkin pie overnight oats. Now with the canned pumpkin, what I like to do whenever I'm using canned pumpkin is to put it in a saucepan and to put it over some heat with a touch of salt, and that's going to take out that metallic flavor you get from the can. Pumpkin puree really is one of those things where fresh isn't always better. I mean, it's a big process to get a pumpkin and cook it and puree it. So just use the can, put it on the stovetop, and any pumpkin puree we have left over, just put it in the fridge and I'll use it for something else like pumpkin soup I'm going to make later in the week. Now we can add a touch of pumpkin pie spice as well as some ground cloves. Because ground clove is not included in pumpkin pie spice, you could check the label. A touch of vanilla, you don't want to do too much because this isn't going to be baked. And then just a pinch of salt, give that a good mix. Next we could add in our pumpkin puree, about 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree, and just smooth down the top, and to sweeten it I'll give a touch of brown sugar, about 1/2 teaspoon. And that's the pumpkin pie overnight oats. So since I got 2 more to make, I'm just going to take the remaining oats I have here and put them in the mason jars. And all these are going to stay good in the fridge for at least 3 to 4 days. That's why I like to make all of them, store them in the fridge, and I don't have to worry about breakfast for myself during the week. I don't have to worry about what my wife is going to have in her lunch bag for the week. Just grab a flavor and it's good to go. Next one is a blueberry muffin one. This one is my wife's favorite. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon zest and fresh blueberries. Now this one I wouldn't let sit in the fridge too long because the acid from the lemon zest is going to mix with the milk and you're going to get like a buttermilk flavor. So consume it relatively quickly. A touch of honey for sweetness, and blueberry muffin overnight oats is ready to go. And this one I'll add to my wife's lunch bag for work tomorrow. So we made it to the final recipe for overnight oats, and it is an apple pie overnight oats. And anytime I make like an apple recipe, an apple pie, apple crisp, there's a spice I add to it, which is kind of unique. I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to peel the skin off the apple and just cut this into chunks. I'll use the rest for my kids' lunch if I don't lose it off the counter here. I'll use half the apple, and again, like the avocado, it's going to be in the mason jar, so you don't have to worry about the apple oxidizing. I'll put some cinnamon, way too much cinnamon. Missed the jar again. I only wanted like 1/2 teaspoon. All right, we'll just clean that up. I don't really care. Cinnamon's good. I like cinnamon, so a little more is not going to hurt anybody. So I'll give my extra cinnamon a mix in with the oats, and then we can add the apples. Now I could bring in the spice that I like to add, and it is cardamom. Cardamom adds like a little hint of flavor where it makes you go like, what is that? That tastes really good. Unlike the cinnamon, you don't want to overdo it with the cardamom. 1/8 teaspoon is more than enough. For sweetness on this, I'm going to add maple syrup, and then a little bit of crunch. I'm going to chop up some walnuts, put that right on top. And that's my apple pie overnight oats. So that's 6 unique recipes for overnight oats right in the fridge. All week you are covered. These are perfect. If I have no time before I have to pick up my kids for school, I just eat one of these. It only takes a couple of minutes, and I am full until dinner time. Guys, if you enjoyed this recipe for 6 overnight oats, check out my video for baked avocado eggs.